Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to. Hey there, Heather Ho. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Cutter hockey card stream. Now, I wasn't intending on doing another stream the day after I did the last one, but because I found out that I had the house to myself for the night, I decided why not? Why not just do another one? Now, no, about a month ago, when I went to Dollarama to buy the supplies for the sign about the Toronto Blue Jays, about the game against Arizona, the sign that I show you. And if you didn't see the stream, let me get the sign. Sign, everywhere's the sign. There. Here we go. All right. So, anyway. Oh, I lost somebody. Fuck. So, anyway, yeah, so if you're not familiar with yesterday's stream, I showed you this thing of Bristol board right here. So yeah, about the whole Toronto Blue Jays thing, and I needed the supplies to make the sign. But in my haste, of course, I decided to buy some 1 liter pops and all that. They're a lot cheaper at Dollarama than they are at any store. A lot more. I don't know how they get them so cheap. But regardless, so anyway, you know how things are. And so I bought hockey cards. So they have a 15 pack for $12 pack, sorry, for $1.25. So there's 12 cards like these with back and front. The difference with these Dollarama ones compared to the ones I picked up from looking for heroes and all that is that there's more of a chance with these of random cards from like the 1990s and all them, because the 1990s had like a hockey card boom, like the baseball card boom, and then they just overproduced cards. Forgot about that Detroit warehouse that has like 50,000 hockey cards that are there. Someone has to be swiping those cards. I wonder. But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna open up these packs. Back on there, and now I have to use scissors for these things. I have to use scissors because they don't have the wrap up. All right, so give you the 12 cards. First off is Zach Bogosian of the Buffalo Sabres, who's one of the rarities who actually played for the Atlanta Thrashers way back in the day. So this is a 2020 Upper Deck card of Zach Bogosian from Messina, New York. So Zach Bogosian. Next up is a crunch card of Rick Tocchet. Oh, that kind of a shitty insert card. And then Sergei Fedorov, when he won the rookie scoring title in 1991, he was not named the Rookie of the Year. That was Ed Belfour, wasn't it? Yeah, Belfour was named the Calder Trophy winner, and everyone's like, didn't Belfour play a lot of games? But the funny thing about that is you have to play 25 games in the NHL to qualify as a rookie, and you have to be 26 years old. Belfour actually played 23 games in the NHL before his campaign in 1991, so he was still considered a rookie when he won the Vezina and the Calder. All right, so here we go. Christian Dvorak, 2022 Upper Deck Series. So Christian Dvorak, he was a Coyote star from Illinois, and then he went to Montreal. Card of Thomas Foucault. Thomas Foucault for IFK Helsinki. Of course, this was when the NHL went on their season-long strike. So Foucault played for Nashville. Well, he was a Nashville goalie. So I wonder if poor JJ's iPod, because I guess he didn't think I was going to do a stream. But yeah, Predator. And then he played one game for Montreal, and then Nashville claimed him in the expansion draft to back up Mike Dunham. And then he's been pretty much a good goalie. He played for Helsinki when the strike happened. Next up is Adam Larson of the Seattle Kraken. Devils and Oilers start defenseman, and then Oilers left him unprotected, and Seattle's got him 2022 Upper Deck. Mark Lamb This is a 1993 Leaf. No, Score, right? No, Leaf. Leaf, Leaf. Not the Maple Leafs, but Leaf made cards. Mark Lamb for the Ottawa Senators. He put up 26 points in the inaugural season of the Senators. Mark Lamb. Okay. Caleb Jones, 2022 Upper Deck. So Caleb Jones, he played from Arlington, Texas. You don't really see hockey players from Texas, but now I guess nowadays. But Caleb Jones, there for the Hawks. Miguel Pafanka, 1990 Score. Pafanka was a good player for the Czech Republic, or Czechoslovakia, but yeah. Michael Pafanka helped Washington make the 1990 Stanley Cup semifinals, but he got hurt by kidney stones, as the card says. Randy Burridge of the 91 Score, which was the first major set I had. Well, 91 Bowman as well, but Randy Burridge. Yeah, he was pretty good. Now, this card, of course, is English-French. Like, it's, as you can see, it's English and French, because Score did have the sets, the set for English-speaking. But anyway, so yeah, so Randy Burridge, the Bruins, and then he went to Washington. Okay, Mark Tenorti, again, another 91 card. 91 Score card. Tenorti's playing for the North Stars. That he got to the Stanley Cup Finals. Mark Tenorti did. The 91 North Stars was an anomaly because, like, very good. Minnesota got lucky because back in 91, almost like the playoff format nowadays, but it's changed a little bit. In 91, the top 4 teams in each division went to the playoffs, no matter what happened. And because the Leafs in 91 were just shit, the North Stars qualified. They were the 4th seed. They were supposed to lose easily to the Blackhawks, who were just dominant. They hosted the All-Star game. Ed Belfour was on top of his game. Jeremy Roenick as well. Blackhawks were supposed to take down the North Stars, but somehow, in some way, the Blackhawks lost that series in 6 games to the North Stars. Then the North Stars took care of the Blues in 6 games before moving on to the Stanley Cup semifinals and losing and beating the Oilers to ruin that dynasty. And then the Penguins actually ruined them, but the North Stars had a 2-1 series lead. Don't forget. And there's Darren Shannon, 1991 pro set. He played for Buffalo, and then he was traded to Winnipeg. But yeah, Darren Shannon as a member of the new Winnipeg Jets. All right, so that's one. I like these a little more because you can hold them, and it's only 12 cards. All right. So yeah, I got to do some garbage work afterwards, but that's okay. All right. Yeah. Yep, see, I told you there would be more retro cards. All right. So the first card you see is Rasmus Dahlin of the Buffalo Sabres. After his 2nd season with the Sabres, this is 2020-21 card, of course, you know, Upper Deck, and also because of the pandemic. Next is a season leader, Patrick Roy and Mike Liut for goals against. They both had 2.53 goals against. Wow. It's rare to see 2 goalies share the goals against thing. Well, Liut actually was a Hartford goalie, but then we got traded to Washington. Yeah, Patrick Roy won the Vezina, but Mike Liut surprised a lot of people. Yeah, he went to Hartford, and then Washington needed his goaltending job to help get Washington to the conference finals in lieu of Don Beaupre. Yeah, that was just shocking. You know, my man, Patrick was my idol, but Mike Liut, yeah, Hartford to Washington. Next up is Mika Pafanka, 1990 Upper Deck. But yeah, I already have a Mika Pafanka. Okay. Oh, cool. Rangers. Adam Graves, a 1994 tops, 93-94 tops of Adam Graves. He had 36 goals in 84 games in the 92-93 season, as this card says, and it gives you like skills rating and all that. I kind of hate that skills rating and all that. Just for that, yeah. But yeah, Adam Graves had skills ratings. This was the season before his 50-goal campaign in 94 that was a Ranger record for the longest time. Brian Trottier, as a member of the New York Islanders, this was the card 1990 the 1990 Upper Deck card of Brian Trottier. You know, he had scored 13 goals in 59 games, got to 500 goals, which was pretty good. But unfortunately, Trottier would actually leave the island and play for the Penguins for a couple of years and all that. So, yeah, Trottier. Ranger fans really hate this guy because, you know, Brian Trottier, as head coach of the Rangers, was pathetic. Very pathetic. Okay, next is Tom Pody. This is a 2001 Upper Deck card. 2000-01 Upper Deck. Tom Pody. In his second season with the Oilers. He's pretty good about that. He's named to the NHL rookie team, but Tom Pody was a good player. And then he got traded to the Rangers, I think, right? Yeah, he got traded to the Rangers, but it didn't work out for him. Tom Pody. Next up is Brent Thompson. This is a premier card from 1993. Brent Thompson, a defenseman. Only played 30 games for the 93 Kings. Didn't play in the 93 playoffs when the Kings made that run to the Stanley Cup Finals. So Brent Thompson. Next is Zdeno Seeger. This is a 1996 Topps card. 95-96 Topps card. He only played 5 games in that shorter 94-95 season, playing 4 points. So Zdeno Cigarette. Next is Bowen Byram, his rookie card from 2021. He did quite well and all that. The 4th overall pick in 2019, and this is card with the Avalanche Upper Deck Series 2 in 2022 by Bowen Byram. Next is a Neil Brodin 1990 scorecard. Neil Brodin, 85 points in 80 games. He looked pretty good. Neil Brodin was one of the people on the American on Ice team from 1980. You know, the American on Ice in 1980? Yep. Neil Brodin was one of them. He was a star player and picked up 105 points in 86, becoming the first American-born player to do that, getting 100 points. He had Paul and Aaron as brothers. So, yeah. So, Neil Brodin got his number 7 retired by Dallas, even though, he was with the North Stars. But Brodin, I believe, played for the North Stars. Anyway, Kevin Stevens of Parkhurst, 1992 Parkhurst. And all that. Kevin Stevens in the famous diagonal jersey that the Penguins decided to adopt, even though they were back-to-back champions. Oops, I got a thumbs up and a guy. Is it JJ? Did JJ come back? I want to see if he came back. If that's him. If that's you, comment, JJ. Yeah, woo! Thank you, JJ. Yeah, JJ. So, yeah, you missed the first 10 minutes, but you actually missed a Thomas Foucault card. Yeah, Kevin Stevens. This is 54 goals, 92 by Kevin Stevens. Pretty good. Let me get the Thomas Foucault card. Oh, okay. I put it over there. One sec. Now, it's not a normal Thomas Foucault card. JJ. Here we are. Okay, JJ. Here's the card. Yeah. See? Yep. Thomas Foucault. Former Nashville Predator icon. Best goalie until Pekka Rinne popped his head in. But yeah, Thomas Foucault, give you the card back. Super cool. Yep. With IFK Helsinki, because the 2005 season was when the NHL lost the full season. So yeah, that's the Thomas Foucault card. Yeah, so I feel like I want to keep it though. Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. Anywho, all right, and the last card in the second deck was Braden Holtby with Dallas. Kind of sacrilege because, Braden Holtby was this Washington guy who probably is the best Washington goalie of all time. And then he got let go by Washington, and Vancouver picked him up. But in 21 games, he only got 7 wins. So Vancouver dumped him off, and then he ended up with Dallas. I think he still plays for Dallas. But yeah, Braden Holtby, icon. All right, so that's 2 decks down, 3 more to go. So, JJ, I know you missed the first few minutes of this. But I explained that I got these card sets from Dollarama. Well, Canada has Dollarama. The U.S. has Dollar General, if memory serves me right. But yeah, so these are like $1.25 for 12 cards. They used to be $1 for 15, but now, inflation. Cut the line. The worst part about these is that you have to cut them. My other card things. Ooh, did I not cut? Ooh, I missed. Ooh, I missed. I missed. Sorry about that, JJ. Hope we get some good pulls. I think we might. Now, a lot of them are probably going to be just random schmandom players and all that. So, like, I know you missed the first deck and a half, first thing and a half, JJ. So just go back and watch it on replay. It's no big deal. All right. So first off is Carter Hart, Philadelphia Flyers 2021 card. His OPG card, Carter Hart. In Canada, he was pretty much a good junior goalie, but unfortunately for Carter, he lost the shootout to the Americanos. All right, next up. Oh, here's a good pull. A brothers card because scored. Now I grew up, JJ, with 1991 score being my first card set because when hockey cards when I was allowed to buy hockey cards way back in the day, this was the first set. 1991 score was the first set. And I would always get a lot of these insert cards and all that. And actually, I would honor these cards, but now, so they're Brodin brothers, Aaron and Neil. I already pulled a Neil Brodin card, but now I pulled like a brothers card, Aaron and Neil. Paul's supposed to be there. He's a young winger of the Rangers, but I don't think Paul Brodin went that far. Aaron did decent. Of course, Neil's the North Star, so Dallas Star key player. So Aaron Brodin with the Leafs. So yeah, got that one. Next up is Andrei Vasilevsky, All-Star with Tampa. Pretty decent overall. Yep. So yeah, Andrei Vasilevsky, his All-Star card from St. Louis and all that. 35 wins in the 2020 season. Vasilevsky. Next is 1990 pro set. This was also one of the first sets I had, 1991 pro set, way back in the day when it was like 8 or 9. But yeah, L.I. Freedy, when he was a Leaf, he was a pretty good Leaf defenseman. 63 points in 1990, according to the card, and wore 33. That's my favorite number. But yeah, L.I. Freedy, great defenseman. He famously won the 1993 hardest shot competition with over 103 miles per hour, which was the record till Chara broke it. But yeah, Ella Freedy was a good defenseman, and the Leafs decided to trade him to Washington. What was the trade for? I would say Brian Bradley, but I'm wrong. I know this is stupid, but I'm going to just look up Ella Freedy and see who he was traded for. I know he was traded to Washington in 91, but what did the Leafs get back? I don't know. I just don't know. L.A. Frady. Here we go. Okay. Frady was, the 105.2 miles per hour. Can you imagine? Yeah, he played for the Leafs, and then, he was happy. He hated the fishbowl pressures of playing in Toronto, and wanted and traded. So halfway through the season, he was traded to Washington for Peter Cecil and Bob Rouse. So that actually kind of worked in the Leafs' favor because Peter Cecil was a pretty good underrated player for the Leafs back in the 93 playoff run. And Bob Rouse actually was one guy. If you remember, and I don't know, this is basically for the general area, not just for JJ, but for people who are watching the replay. In 93, do you remember that when the Leafs beat the Red Wings in Game 7 on Borshevsky's goal, Bob Rouse was actually actually took a shot, and it was deflected by Borshevsky and into the net. So Rouse, I think, would have scored the goal if it went clean in the net, but no, it was Borshevsky. So yeah, so the Leafs actually did a few key pieces for the 93 playoff run. Okay, back to the cards. Next is, a Topps All-Star, Brett Hall. This is 1991 Topps, 91-92 Topps. He was first-team All-Star right winger. I mean, good grief. Brett Hall as a right winger. That was the year he scored 86 goals in one season. So, you knew he was going to be an All-Star. I mean, dude, 86 goals. I mean, how many people have scored 80 goals in a season other than Gretzky? I don't think Lemieux even did. I don't think Lemieux scored 80 goals in a season. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Next is a Bill Ranford card, 1989-90 OPG. So this is OPG 89-90 of Bill Ranford. Bruins, then the Oilers. His first full season with the Oilers, he didn't play in the playoffs. He was behind Grant Fuhr. But Ranford came over from Boston to Edmonton in '88. That was the trade that sent Andy Moog to Boston because he was tired of being behind Grant Fuhr and wanted more playing time. So Moog decided to head to the Canadian Olympic team and play for the Olympic program, not play in the NHL because at that time in '88, no NHL players were allowed to play in the Olympics. NHL players were not allowed. It would be strictly amateur, but you could play on the Olympic team, forego your year of NHL eligibility and play in the Olympics. And Moog did, and Canada took 4 from the research period. But yeah, Bill Ranford was the goalie Boston sent back to be the backup for Grant Fuhr. And then once Fuhr got hurt in 1990, Ranford came in and somehow, in some way, won the Conn Smythe. So yeah, that was huge. Here's another Brian Trottier card. This was when I pulled a Trottier for 1990. Now this is a 91 Trottier in Penguins colors. It was like, Brian Trottier, a Penguin? Cal Surprise. Yeah, Brian Trottier had some magic left. And he won 2 Stanley Cups with the Penguins. So, yeah, that's hard to believe. And, of course, Ranger fans will be pissed off. I pulled a Trottier. JT Comfort. I think I did one on JT Comfort like yesterday. But, yeah, JT Comfort in the Avalanche colors. Dave Poulin, 91 score. Dave Poulin, pretty good player. I can't remember. I think he's a color. No, I think he's an NHL and TSN analyst. But Dave Poulin, yeah, he was a Flyers icon. Winning the Selkie at one time. Yeah, Dave Poulin to Boston. Yeah, I remember that. Wendell Clark, Leafs, 1990 OPG. Wendell Clark. He only played 38 games in the 1990 season, was scoring 18 goals. But yeah, Wendell Clark was good. Like the Leafs, that was the number 1 pick of the Leafs in 1985. The year I was born, that was the first overall pick that year, was Wendell Clark. Unfortunately, he would always get injured and not play a lot of games. 1988, the card says he played 28 games and got 23 points and 11 points in 15 games in 89. That's the problem. The problem is that with Clark was that, he would go hard and he would play left wing / defense. But the problem with Wendell Clark was that he would play too hard and, lose games, and the Leafs pretty much needed him. But then he changed up his game. Okay, so Petri Skriko. This is a 1990 Bowman. This is not 91 Bowman. Now, the difference between this card set and most card sets is that, the grid on the back. As a kid, I thought, oh, wait a minute. He played 3 games for the Flyers and got 2 points. It's like, what? But then I soon learned years later that it's like, no, he played 3 games against the Flyers and scored 2 points, for instance. It's like, why do we need to know that? Kind of weird, don't you think? Yeah, Petri Skriko. And then finally to end this thing is Mark Streit in a Flyers uniform. I kind of like the Flyers. I don't know what they were trying to pull with the A and the C in that shape. It's like, what the hell shape is that? But anyway, yeah, Switzerland world champion and all that. Montreal Islanders and Flyers. This was 2015 Upper Deck, but Mark Streit, pretty good player. All right, so that's done. Two more sets. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. All that. I bet you guys got other things to do. I actually have a taping, out of the park baseball taping to finish up. I actually was starting it, but then I ran out of time because 6 o'clock news, and now I got to finish that thing up. But anyway, yeah. All right, so here's the set. First card is Trevor Lewis. He played for LA for many years, 12 years, and then he went to Winnipeg, and now he's Calgary Flame. This is 2022 Upper Decker Trevor Lewis. Should never left LA. A pair of Stanley Cups, an unheralded right winger. The worst part about these cards is they don't show his position. Would be nice. But yeah, Trevor Lewis from Salt Lake City. Okay. Peter Stastny for the Devils, 1990 card. 1990 card. He was Quebec royalty. I mean, the Nordiques pulled off a massive coup to get Peter and Anton Stastny away from the Iron Curtain in Czechoslovakia at the time. Man, is it a lot of intrigue? I would read the Peter Stastny story because, Peter Stastny, that was a great time for him. He was Quebec icon, scoring, what was it, the second most points in the 1980s? I know you would say Lemieux behind Gretzky, but Lemieux started in 1984, so he missed the first few seasons of the 80s. Stastny started in 80, 81. Stastny was pretty good and all that for Quebec, and then they decided to trade him to the Devils for Craig Landon, if memory serves me right. Okay, so here's James Reimer. I pulled a James Reimer yesterday, but this is his 2022 card with the Sharks. Coming back to the Sharks, he's played half a year for the Sharks in 2016. Yeah, but he was a Leafs player. The worst part about Reimer was that he was hurt too many times as a Toronto Maple Leaf. He had a few concussions, and it would have been probably the need for a good goalie and probably not have to worry about trying to get that franchise goalie. Okay, next is Jeff Boogaboom, 1991 Upper Deck. Boogaboom, good player for the Oilers. Very good defenseman. And then he went to the Rangers. How did he do it? I think he was compensation or something. But yeah, Jeff Boogaboom was good. And then he went to the Rangers. Next up is a Frank Pietrangelo from the Penguins 1991 scorecard. He was 10-11-1 in the regular season. He was the backup to Tom Barrasso. But Barrasso got hurt, and Pietrangelo had to come in and play Game 6 and 7 in the first round against the Devils. Penguins fans know who this guy is and what he did in the 91 campaign. I think the 1991 season, the Penguins run more so than Lemieux's goal through the Minnesota North Stars, the pretzel move in Game 2 of the finals, was Pietrangelo making a key save on Peter Stastny, of all people. So Pietrangelo made that big save off Stastny. If not, then probably the Devils would have won Game 7 in the first round against the Penguins. People forget that Pittsburgh did not have home ice in that series. It was the Devils that had home ice in that series. Yeah, Frank Pietrangelo was forward winning the playoffs. Without him, I think the Penguins would not have won the Stanley Cup. So unsung hero. Hartford leveraged a lot to get Pietrangelo from the Penguins. And it didn't work out because Pietrangelo and the Whalers lost in the first round to the Habs in that Game 7 double overtime Ross Corgo move. And plus, Pittsburgh picked up Ken Reggett from the Flyers to be the backup to Brazel, and he won a cup. There's a Sean Chambers with Washington, 91 score. He was a North Stars player, but then he got traded to Washington. So yeah, Sean Chambers playing for the 91 North Stars, and then with Washington now, his first official card with the Capitals. Next is, another Wendell Clark, but this time as a captain. The 91 captain card for the Leafs. Yeah, he did better. He played 63 games in 91. So yeah, Wendell Clark, captain card for him. And then the Leafs had a captain, Rob Ramage, and then he got taken to Minnesota in the dispersal draft. And then the Leafs needed a captain. So they took Wendell Clark. They were like, Wendell Clark should be our captain. And he did pretty well. All right, so Doug Weight, a 2010 Upper Deck card of Doug Weight with the Islanders. He'll always be an Oiler legend to me. But Doug Weight, doing his job with the Oilers Blues and all that. But Doug Weight, yeah, in a Cupcakes outfit. Next is Brian Suter in a Dallas uniform. Predators and Wild. He would play for 2 seasons, 16 years. But then he went to Dallas and all that. His birthday is January 1985, so he's 3 months older than I am. Only 3 months. I think he's still playing. But yeah, Brian Suter, icon. And then we got Man of the Year, Brett Hull. So JJ, you want to know interesting poll? So yep, the score had the Man of the Year, Brett Hull. Because of his 86 goals. He was the Hart Trophy winner as an MVP and all that. The third highest season total in league history, 86 goals. So Gretzky had the first 2. I think Lemieux. I keep thinking Lemieux was second, but no. 86 goals by Brett Hull. Amazing. And then Scott Arniel of the Jets, 1991 score. He played for the Jets. Buffalo. He's a legend in our house. Who? Brett Hall? Brett Hall? Oh, yeah, I guess slow mode is on. Send a message every 30 seconds. But yeah, Brett Hall, cool. So Scott Arniel traded from the Sabres to the Jets in the Dale Hawerchuk deal. So yeah, Scott Arniel, it was okay. Winning 2 Memorial Cups. Okay. And finally in this thing is Freddie Anderson of Carolina. You know, Leaf fans will remember his 38 wins. He was good for 30-plus wins. He was good. But then the Leafs, then he got hurt in the 2021 season. And it was he the starting goalie for 2021 in the Leafs against the Habs? Or did we have to go with our backup? But yeah, Freddie Anderson was injury prone. Fans would always blame Freddie for how shitty the Leafs were in the playoffs and all that. It's a rite of passage. Our defense or our goaltending usually holds us back. In 2022, when we lost Game 7 to Tampa, it was not his fault. It was not our goaltender's fault. It was actually the fault of our offense not scoring. And then now our defense sucks again, but whatever. All right, so that's one more to go. I've wasted half an hour of your time. So let's finish this up. I really need to finish this up. Oh, ay, Cutter. Why did you spill? Why did you spill? Why you spill? Cutter, you spilled it. Cutter, you spilled it. Sorry about that. All right, so 12 more cards. First up is a Blake Wheeler card of the Jets, 2016 Upper Deck. Yeah, Boston. Then he went to Atlanta for half a year before taking off with the team to Winnipeg. Thrashers and Jets. That big change for everyone. Blake Wheeler now is a New York Ranger, by the way. So yeah, my Ranger buddies are not really that keen. But I mean, Wheeler's got like a $950,000 contract. So yeah, Blake Wheeler, very good. Next up is a Ken Baumgartner 1990 Pro Set. Ken Baumgartner. So, you know, yeah, I know you played for the Leafs. Not really that great. Paul Ranheim, 1990 score for the Flames. 26 goals. Nice job. Paul Ranheim. Okay. Okay. Next is Pete Peters of the Philly Flyers. Pete Peters, I think there was a second go around with the Flyers. Yeah, 246 career victories at the time, 91 score. Pete Peters was a Vezina winner in 1983 with the Bruins. He actually started his career with the Flyers. Pete Peters was actually the goalie that was the victim of the Islanders' goal, Nystrom's goal in 1980 to win the Stanley Cup Finals in overtime. That was Pete Peters, who was in net for Philly. Then he went to Boston, became a Vezina Trophy winner, then went to Washington, now back to Philly. So, yeah, he was 83-1 in November because with Hextall and Raggett hurt, Pete Peters was there and all that. So, yeah, he was a decent goalie when he was healthy. Next is a Mitch Marner, a Marner 2022 Upper Deck card. Yeah, Mitch Marner, great playmaker and all that. So for me, it's Matthews scoring the goal, Marner passing the puck to him. So yeah, Mitch Marner. Stéphane Richer, a 1991 Tops, 31 goals. So yeah, Stéphane Richer was a pretty good sniper and all that. 91 Habs. Now, of course, this is kind of a false card because Richer actually was traded before the 91 season to the Devils for Kurt Muller. So, yeah, Richer wanted to leave the fishbowl that was Montreal because, Quebecois pressure ruined him. And he actually had suicidal thoughts. He actually talks about it in a mental health documentary. Anywho, next is Phil Sykes, 1991 Top Stadium card. Phil Sykes. I remember him. Yeah, I have a Phil Sykes card. Okay, next is a Wendell Young card with the Penguins, 1990. 16, 20, and 3. Oh, so Wendell Young played a lot more in 1990 than I thought. So yeah, he led goalies in games played, wins, and all that. I guess Barrasso got hurt or something. Yeah, he played for the Canucks and Flyers before being a Penguin. What's cool about Wendell Young is that he became the first goalie in history to win a Memorial Cup, a junior championship, as in the Memorial Cup with my Kitchener Rangers, 1982. A championship in the IHL, the International Hockey League, which was a minor league for the NHL before it absorbed into the AHL, which is the American Hockey League. He won an AHL title and a Stanley Cup, winning it with the Penguins a couple times. So yeah, Wendell Young did his job. Yeah, I remember he was a Kitchener Ranger goalie. Ray Bourque, his Norris card from 1990, and would finish second in the Hart Trophy. Was it a tie? Can't remember if the points for the Hart was a tie or not, but I think it was close. But anyway, Ray Bourque. Yeah, Ray Bourque again. Okay, next is Igor Larionov, Canucks card. People forget that Igor Larionov, for the Red Wing and Shark legend he is, he started his career with Vancouver. He was lucky. He was on the KLM line with Krutov and Makarov because they were the best Russian line in the 1980s, but they all decided to defect to the United States and all that. But yeah, Larionov and Krutov actually headed for Vancouver, whereas Makarov led to Calgary. So yeah, they went to Canada, Canadian teams and all that. So yeah, Igor Larionov as a Canuck. Yeah, Red Wing fans will love this card because Igor Larionov, his rookie card with the Canucks. Unfortunately, Krutov didn't take the North American game well, and he adjusted to life in North America by eating and eating and eating. He was a little too heavy and all that. And also, Makarov did okay. Makarov won the Calder, even though he wasn't supposed to because of his Russian experience. But Makarov did okay. Anyway, here we go, JJ. Here's a Nashville Predator, Connor Ingram. But what? Uh-oh. This is a mistake. This is a definite mistake. Because this card has Connor Ingram. That can't be right. Because Connor Ingram is a goalie. This is not a goalie. This is a mistake. This is a gigantic mistake of a card. Connor Ingram, I know, was a Kitchener Ranger goalie. But why is his 2021 OPG card different? I mean, it's not a goalie card. Who the heck is number 95 for Nashville? Unless he switched to being a winger. But no, Connor Ingram is a goalie. I know he's a goalie. And I know he's a Kitchener Ranger. Misprints could be worth some money. I wonder how much the Connor Ingram card misprint is. So, yeah. Let's see. Connor Ingram. Yeah, he's a goalie. Connor Ingram. Oh, Connor Ingram didn't play for Kitchener. He played for Kamloops. Oh, it's Ingraham. That was the guy. But yeah. That's a Nashville goalie. But does it say something about his hockey card? Okay, Connor Ingram hockey card. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah. I don't know what. 2021 OPG. Okay, so. Yeah, that's got to be a misprint. Oh, yep. Okay, so it says that they screwed up. He was supposed to be in, but they used Matt Duchene. Yeah, that's a mistake. Oh, that. Yeah, 95's Matt Duchene, but for some strange reason, Connor Ingram. Yeah, Connor Ingram's a goalie. Could you show the card again? Damn right I will, and I'll show it closer. I'll give you a closer look, JJ. See? Okay, I'll give you a closer look. So yeah. OPG Connor Ingram. Yeah, he's a goalie because flip the card. See? See his stats? See his stats, JJ? Yep, that's definitely not a forwards numbers. Those are definitely goalie numbers. I love goaltending. I love goalies, but yeah, Connor Ingram is a goalie. Yeah, it's a huge factoring error. Yep. And eBay said something. Yep. Because that's Matt Duchene, number 95, who was covered. So yeah, that's a famous card. I don't know how much that Connor Ingram mistake card will be worth. Probably a few bucks, but whatever. Okay, so well, I got 2 more cards left. So Randy Gilhan, 91 score from West Germany. He was from. So he played for the Kings. Actually, he was a Penguin. He was part of the 91 Penguins that won the Stanley Cup. And then the North Stars drafted him in that expansion draft, dispersal draft, and then he was traded to LA. Oh, my voice is about to go. And finally, lastly, is Nick Backstrom. I already did a card of him last night, but yeah, Nick Backstrom. All right. So that will be the last stream. That's the end of the stream. So in a few minutes, I will close off. So about 40 minutes, not half bad. But I was talking to some people and all that. For those of you who didn't watch this live, where the heck were you? But yeah, sharing some hockey stories and all that shit. So I don't know where I'm going to go, if I'm going to buy more cards. Probably soon. I might just wait a few more weeks. I'm actually planning on maybe next Sunday doing a live stream in the afternoon, just doing some hockey cards in the afternoon. The only problem is that with, my stuff being in the basement and all that is the lighting. And I don't get a lot of light from the basement window. So it's going to look awkward and all that. And I don't want to put my light on because it's like 2 p.m. But I might have to. So, yeah. So I'm thinking next Sunday will be the next one for sure. Just make sure you check my YouTube channel, Cutter Historical, because that is where you'll see the next stream. Probably next Sunday will be there. And I'll probably go get some more cards in the meantime. So, yeah. So that's fun in the sun and all that shit. So anyway, I'd like to thank JJ for his patience and his love of the National Predators and all of that for coming to this stream. And then in the last one, at least I got a new fan, so that's good. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.